Hey, this is Brendan Dunn, one of the co-founders of RightMessage, and in this video, I'd like to walk you through specifically RightMessage in action on an actual website that sells stuff and how we plan on using RightMessage, or how I should say we've historically used RightMessage to increase overall revenue and conversions on the sales page. So on the left side of the screen, what I've done is I've loaded up a brand new RightMessage account for Double Your Freelancing, which is the site you see on the right side of your screen. On the right side of the screen, you see the sales page for Double Your Freelancing Rate, which is a online course that helps consultants with pricing or to basically learn how to price better. So it's a pretty standard long form sales page for an information product. We cover what's inside the course. There's a video. There's this kind of offer right here. There's the 2 packages along with testimonials and so on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you specifically how simple and easy it is to use RightMessage to start personalizing this sales page based off of different types of people who are reaching this page. So what I'm going to do really quick before I dive too deep into things is on my back end for email marketing, I'm using Drip. So Drip is one of the tools we integrate with at RightMessage. And I have an email course that leads people to this page. And in this email course, I ask people different questions. So I have different assessments that I send people that I happen to use trigger links, but in the past I've used worksheets for, that when people complete these worksheets or click one of these trigger links, data is written to their subscriber record within Drip. So the 3 I'm going to focus on in this demo is going to be the business type of the subscriber. So are they a designer? Are they a web developer? Are they a marketer? And so on. The pricing objection. So these are the rules that I have with my trigger links. So maybe the objection they have to buying is they doubt this will work for them. The objection they have is maybe that they don't have enough clients to use this on. The objection is that they're getting their proposals they're sending are just not converting. Or finally, the objection they have is they don't feel like they have a system in place to help them with this stuff. We also have a nothing objection, which is for people who basically think that they, after going through the email course, they know what to do and they're good and they don't have anything holding them back at this point. And the final thing we're going to be looking at is what's called the CWYW segment. So the email course is called Charge What You're Worth. So CWYW just means that. And when somebody opts into the email course, I ask them specifically, why are they joining? What is it that they are hoping this email course will help them with? And there's 3 different options. And again, these are done with trigger links. But again, this could be a form they fill out. This could be a type form I send them to or something like that. But the 3 I ask are, do you need help with just pricing in general? Are you maybe starting out and you just want ideas on how to charge your clients? Do you need help with value pricing? Are you more advanced? Are you doing okay, but you want to start pricing on value? Or finally, are you joining because you are sending proposals out and everything's getting rejected and you think maybe there's an issue with how you're putting together the different proposals that you're sending out? So I figured these different things out just by talking with people who've gone through the email course in the past, learning from them, asking them at first a little PS, hey, drop me a reply, tell me a bit about who you are and why you joined. And over time, I was able to kind of reduce everything down to one of these 3 different options. So throughout the email course, there are different assessments used. And then by the end of it, they're pitched and they're sent to this sales page. Now, the sales page I have on my screen right now, everyone right now, as of this recording, because I just took it off, I took off the personalizations I had running, but everyone would see the same sales page regardless of the kind of work you do or why you joined the email course or any of these different data points that I have. So we're going to use RightMessage to start personalizing the headline, the testimonials, and even the way we describe the offer based off of these 3 data points. All right, so let's dive right in. So when you start a new RightMessage account, and create a new website within that account, the first thing that we're going to do, or we're going to ask you to do, is to put the tracking script in the head of your site. So that's really simple to do. This is a WordPress site. It took me all of 2 seconds to add this into the header of my template. But regardless of if you're using Squarespace or Lead Pages or Unbounce or any of these different tools or CMSs, as long as they accept JavaScript, this will work. So I'm going to say I've done this. It's checking my site. Snippet detected. All is good. Let's go. Okay. So first thing is first is we're going to want you to integrate with your email service provider or CRM. In this case, I mentioned I use Drip. So I'm going to click Drip over here, connect with Drip. It's going to ask me to choose an account. So here is Double Your Freelancing. I'm going to authorize RightMessage to talk to that account within Drip. So we're done. Everything's good at this point. If I go to the dashboard, it's going to ask me to set up my first campaign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 3 different campaigns, one of which is going to look at the business type. And if, depending on their business type, we're going to change the testimonials at the footer of the page. So if they're a web developer, I want all the testimonials to be from web developers or programmers, designers, and so on. We're also going to do one other campaign where we're going to look at the objection that they have at the end of the course. So what are they still uncertain about? And we're going to change the way we describe the product, the offer, based on that. And then finally, the segment. Why are they here? Why did they join the email course? So since the email course relates directly to the paid course, I'm going to reiterate why they joined when in the headline, when initially describing what this course offers the person viewing the page. Okay, so let's set these up. So I'm going to we have these different recipes that you can use to really quickly do some standard stuff, but I'm going to do a custom campaign for each of these. And we're going to start with the business type. So I'm going to say change Double Your Freelancing rate testimonials by business type. So that's going to be the name of the campaign here. We don't have any segment groups. This is a brand new account. So what a segment group is basically mapping to one of these custom fields. So business type is one of many different options: designer, developer, marketer, writer, and so on. So segment group would be business type. There would also be a segment group of pricing objection, and then one of the segment that they're in, the charge what you're worth, the email course segment that they're in. So I'm going to start by creating a new segment group, and I'm going to go to other, just because we have some pre-populated recipes that you can use, but we'll just create one called other, and this is going to be called business type. All right, so first one, I'm not going to load them all in for the sake of brevity. We're making sure that this doesn't go on really that long, but we're just going to focus on developer and designer for now. So how do we know if somebody's a developer? Well, first thing is going to be if they have the business type custom field equals to developer. And then how do we know if you're a designer? Same thing, business type custom field equals designer. Now, what's really nice about RightMessage is it's great if we know this, right? If they've completed our assessment survey and told us that they are a developer, we're going to store that in their subscriber record. But what if they come to the sales page and they haven't gone through the email course or they haven't completed that assessment? Well, there are going to be other ways that we can find out if they are a developer. So one of which could be maybe they were referred by developerblog.com. Maybe this is a site that has written articles linking to my site. I'm going to assume that anyone who's reading developerblog.com is probably a developer. So if they come from that, I'm going to automatically classify them as a developer. Or maybe there's a Quora thread. So I have a few threads on Quora that link to me. And maybe there's a thread on what should developers charge, right? So if somebody comes from this page that mentions an article of mine, and they come over to that article, and then they one day stumble upon the sales page of this course, we're going to still assume that they're a developer. And then finally, maybe that they clicked on a Facebook ad we're running that is targeting people who are developers. So developer target or something. So maybe we're running an ad and we have UTM parameters in that ad URL that signify that this is an ad that they clicked on from Facebook that was targeting developers. Okay, so this is how we're mapping a developer. I'm not going to do the same for designer, but you could see that I could go through and spend an hour or so going and looking at my analytics, seeing what websites are linking to my site and trying to figure out, are any of these websites made up of designers or any of these websites made up of developers? And I could go and start loading in some of these different things into the business type segment group. Now, one really interesting thing here is that we have the sync to option. So what we're doing here is, let's say that they are referred to us from this site, developerblog.com. They opt into our email course or they opt into our newsletter or something, a day or two later. Well, we're going to automatically set business type to developer for them just because they came from that URL, from that domain. And this is really nice because what we're able to do here is we're able to look at things like where did somebody come from or what landing page did they land on originally or what ad did they click on? And then we can store this data in our email marketing app for the future so that future emails we send them can be personalized and call them out as a developer. Or when they come back to our website on a different device, so maybe they opt in on their phone, but then later on they're on their laptop and they click an email of ours. Now there's this relationship both from their phone and from their laptop that point to the same subscriber record, in this case within Drip, that says this is a developer. So we're able to maintain continuity across different devices. So this is really cool. Okay, so we've done this. We've gone ahead and we've mapped out business type equals developer. Cool, we're good here. I'm gonna add one more now for pricing objection. So same thing. What are the different pricing objections I have? Let me look real quick. I forgot which ones they are. So we have doubt, clients, proposals, system, and nothing. Okay, so I'm gonna just say doubt and then custom field, Drip custom field is pricing objection equals doubt. Cool. And then likewise, I'm only going to do two. Let's do system. So custom field of pricing objection equals system. Cool. All right. So now we've got another segment or another dimension, as we call it, or segment group called pricing objection. And last but not least, we're going to add one for segment, the CWYW segment. So I'm going to call this email course segment. Same thing. So what do we have here? We have proposals, advanced pricing, basic pricing. I'm just going to do basic pricing, or I'll do advanced pricing here, where custom field segment equals advanced pricing. And then one more called proposals. And then segment equals proposals. All right, so I've loaded these in. We're good. We've got these three different dimensions now, or segment groups that we can start personalizing against. So I'm going to go back and set up that campaign. And again, we're going to call this, the first one is going to be change testimonials based on industry. We're going to map this to business type. So the business type segment group again has developer, designer, and so on. It's going to do this. It's going to load our site. Cool. I'm actually going to go now to the Double Your Freelancing Rate sales page. So I'm here. All right. So you can see it's basically what we see on the right side of the screen. We've got the difference is I can click and play with things. So what do we want to do? We want to change the different testimonials that are at the bottom, right? So within our editor, within the RightMessage editor on the left, I'm going to go and find some testimonials. And I'm going to start changing what it is they say. So this is a mobile developer. Actually, that's fine because we're targeting developer up here. So I meant to mention, here are the different segments that we've specified. So developer and designer. what we're going to do here is I'm going to go through and change all of these to be from other developers, and then I'm going to do the same for designers. So mobile developer for David, we can keep that. That's fine. For this, we're going to do the same. I don't know, SEO developer. Is that a thing? I'm not sure. Programmer, that's fine too. We don't want a designer here. We want to have, I don't know, student developer or something. Or I should say computer science major. And this goes without saying, you're going to want to make sure that the actual testimonials here are from people who are actually developers. So I'd change more than just the title. I'd change their name. I'd change the image. I would change the what they say based off that. So, but for the purposes of just having this be a rather quickish demo, developer / marketer, I'm gonna just change the title here, and we'll make this a iOS developer. Cool. All right. So what we've done now is we've made it so if you're a developer and you're viewing this page, instead of seeing on the right where you see this kind of mixed bag of different types of people, all the testimonials that we're going to show are going to be from other developers just like you. Now, I could go and change. There's a lot of other copy and language I could change on this page based off that, but it's obvious. It should be obvious now how easy it is to do this. You literally click on the thing you want to change and change it. Now, I've done this now for developers. Now let's make it work for designers. I'm going to switch to designer. It's reset. It's back, right? But we've kind of ghosted out what we've changed for other segments within this segment group, namely the developer segment. So I kind of have a visual indicator of the things that I should probably look at changing. So let's start to do that. So mobile developer, we don't want to say that. We want this to be a mobile designer. SEO consultant, just say designer, programmer, branding specialist, something like that. Designer, cool, we'll keep her. Marketing consultant, marketing designer, I don't know, something like that. And we can keep my branding consultant. I think that's close enough to designer. So what we've done now is we made it so if you're a designer, you're seeing these set of testimonials. And again, we would change more than just the title. But then if you're a developer, we would see these. So just by now clicking publish, that's it. I've made it now. So this is now live on my site. And if somebody who is a developer came to the sales page, and again, developer is somebody who is in Drip, notated as a developer by having that custom field, or if somebody came from a certain page or whatever, or domain or whatever else that I've defined as being a developer referral source, then if they come to the sales page, they're going to see only testimonials from other developers. So that's it. That's how I've changed testimonials on this page. And I can now go and create something new where we're going to now target people based on their segment. So we've handled business type, and again, there's probably more we could do, but for the purposes of just getting something up there quickly, this is fine. I want to now look at the industry segment, or the segment of why somebody joined. So remember, they joined because they either want basic help, they're doing well and they want advanced help, or they have a proposal specific problem. So this course can help them with all of this. So we're going to go to the top and look at what we're going to change. So we're going to change this headline. We're going to leave it at that. So I'm going to say change copy based on why they joined email course. A little lengthy, but you can make it whatever you want. So same thing. We've loaded up this page. Now we've got the actually I've only loaded in when we were setting up our segments only two different things: advanced pricing and proposals. We could probably make it so basic pricing, which is the one not listed here, would be the default, which would be the thing that they see right here now. So that's fine. But for advanced pricing, what we want to do is we want to actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add a segment, and I'm going to call this basic pricing, because if you think about it, the headline here is probably good for people who are already doing well. So if you're in that advanced segment, this is actually pretty good. Make the transition from hired gun freelancer to highly valued consultant. That's fine. This is not going to appeal to somebody who was never freelanced before in their life, right? Because they're not even there's nothing to transition from. So I'm actually going to set up a basic segment here, and I'm going to map this to, I think I called this basic pricing, right? So basic pricing. So we can actually on the fly redefine and remap a lot of this stuff within RightMessage. So I've saved this now. Now we have basic, proposals, and advanced. So for advanced, we're not going to change this, actually. I like this for advanced. I think what we currently have on the site is fine. But for basic, I want to make this a little more friendly for newbies. So I'm going to personalize the text here and say, learn how to start your freelancing career right by charging what you're worth or something, right? So now somebody who hasn't really started their career, they're still kind of getting their foothold, they're going to see this headline instead of the one you see on the right, which is what advanced people will see. Now, what about people who have issues with proposals? Well, I'm going to go here and basically change this again and make this say something like tired of losing proposal after proposal. We've built this course for you. Something like that, right? So same thing. All I'm doing here is you can see quickly as I scroll through how I'm changing these headlines. And again, I could go wild and start changing everything here, but I'm just going to do these two for now. So publish this. I'm done. Now we've got two campaigns running on the sales page. We have the headline here, and we also have the testimonials at the footer. So one last thing I want to change, and then I will be done, is pricing objection. So I'm going to go back and create one more campaign called, what do we want to say? Change double referencing your offer based on email course objection. All right, let's do this last one. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, right before I introduce the course, I have this what's next for you in your business and then some copy here. I want to make some tweaks to this. So I'm going to go down to here. So we have a few different things we have as options. Again, we have, what do we have? We have doubt, no clients, proposal issues, no system, or nothing. We've only loaded in doubt or system. So I'm going to say that if you told me that you have doubts about your ability to actually charge more, that you have self-confidence issues, I want to change the language here to be more relevant to you. So don't let self-doubt hold you back. This is something like that, right? And then, I could go in and change all this copy too, but I'm not going to do that for now. And system, same thing. I'm going to say, finally, the system you've needed to sustain and scale your business. Something like this, right? So same thing. We've got these, we've now made it so depending on what you are, we can have, we can show you basically different ways of describing the offer before we actually show you the different pricing and packages. So good, we're done. In the span of however long this has been going, I've gone through and I've basically loaded in these three different segments or types of segment groups that we're setting through assessments, through either trigger links or surveys people fill out or whatever else. Also environmental things like what site sent them to our site, or what pages have they viewed, or what ad did they click on. And now we're making it so when they get to a sales page, which they might have been sent a week ago from developerblog.com to a random article on our blog, and then they just disappeared and they came back later to our sales page, we're still going to remember that they're a developer, and all the testimonials they see are going to be from developers like them. So last thing I want to show you is when I publish this, we can actually track how effective this campaign is. Now, this is big because not only will we get conversion rates about how are we doing from people who view this sales page to purchase, but we can start seeing what are the different combinations of these different segments that are really performing well. Are people in the segment of advanced pricing who are developers, are they converting maybe twice as much as people who are basic pricing and designers? It might seem like you might be thinking, well, what do I do with that data? But what you do with that data is the segments that you're going to find are doing the worst. So let's say copywriters convert terribly, right? Let's assume that's true for you. The segments that do the worst are the ones that you can go in and really focus on being more personal with. You're losing them somehow, right? So if they're not converting, that means there's a disconnect. So you can focus your energies on learning more about them and also using RightMessage to personalize the interactions they have with you based off that. And the segments that are doing great. So let's say developers who are looking for value pricing advice, so advanced pricing, are converting at, say, 30%, and everyone else is in the teens or lower. Well, what does that tell me? I'm going to go in and start guest posting on a ton of developer blogs. I'm going to run ads targeting developers because these are people that are worth a lot more for me. So to do this, we're going to use RightMessage's goal tracking. So I'm going to track this campaign. I'm going to define a goal where purchase DYFR rate is the name of the goal. And how do we get there, right? So to get there, we actually are going to forgot the name of the URL, the thank you page. I'm just going to go to /thanks. Okay, so assume this is our assume this is the page that people go on after they buy. Well, from conversion events, all I need to do is go up here, click views this page, and then that's it. So if they viewed this page, which is /thanks, then this goal will fire off, and that's it. So what this is going to now do is, and I'm going to want to change this before I need to figure out the exact URL people go to, but this is going to say over time which combinations, which different segments are converting and at what percentage. And that's going to give me data about not only my overall conversion rate, which is fine, but how are the different types of people who are going to the sales page and then purchasing, how are they performing? And I might have a separate goal too that's not maybe a purchase, but maybe just an add to cart. I can set that up also. I can set up a new goal called maybe added DYFR rate to cart, because then that'll give me more volume, right? There's going to be a lot more people adding to cart versus purchasing. But having both up is perfectly fine too. And you can do that easily within RightMessage, where I can set up both of these goals. And I can see maybe a lot of designers are adding to their cart but never buying. And maybe a lot of developers are, or maybe fewer developers comparatively are adding to their cart, but statistically much more of them are buying. I can start reading into that and start looking at, well, maybe there's something else maybe going on that I can dig deeper in and use RightMessage to over time amplify these different parts of this funnel. So with RightMessage, what you're able to do for the first time with ease is to be able to go in, drop a line of code on your site, and do exactly what I just did. And this is it's been 20, 30 minutes maybe. And I've gone and I've already personalized a sales page with no coding, no complexity or anything. I just literally said, okay, these are the things I'm tracking about people. These are the ways I can track things about people. And when somebody fits into a group or a segment, as we call it, that is one of these things that we're tracking, then I want to change testimonials, or I want to change this headline. I didn't show it, but maybe I want to change an image, or I want to do this or do that. So that's why I think that RightMessage is going to be such a game changer for you and your business because of what this allows you to do. It's the same thing that, if I was trying to sell somebody on this course at a PHP conference and it was full of freelance programmers, I'm going to describe it differently. I'm going to talk to them and I'm going to tell them about other programmers who have used it. I'm going to tell them a bit about my background as a programmer maybe. And this is the stuff that's super powerful. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our team. We're at support@rightmessage.com. Just hit us up at any time. We're happy to help you figure this out or help you kind of brainstorm what you could use RightMessage for. But hopefully getting this kind of inside look into RightMessage and seeing what's possible has started getting the cogs turning and giving you some ideas about how you could radically improve overall conversions using RightMessage.